Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of Fixing Lawn Equipment. Today we're not going to be fixing the 5240 or anything too large. We're going to be actually fixing this MTD weed whacker, weed trimmer engine, really, because it's a multi-tool. But as you can hear, it is raining, so hopefully it won't rain too much harder and I won't have to stop the video. But, yeah, we're going to be digging into this here. The problem I have diagnosed on this unit here is that it is flooding. Because you yank and yank and yank and yank on it, and sometimes it'll start and sometimes it won't start. I don't think it doesn't flood too much. I think it just floods it, like, enough so that it won't want to start. So, yeah, I'm going to begin. I'm going to get this on the tripod here. And we'll begin. Hopefully the rain won't get too much worse. But, yeah. So, I think it's definitely the fuel of some kind. It might be flooding. It might not be flooding. It could just be that it ain't getting fuel. But you put the choke on. Pull on it a ton. As you can see, the primer bulb here is full. So, we are at that point. As for most other things here, I think probably what's going on is the gasket in the carburetor or the maintainer valve, whatever you want to call it, is not maintaining very well. So, yeah. Also should say that this thing will kind of do weird noises sometimes. I'm actually going to go shut the front door here a minute to make it so it's slightly less noisy, so I'll be right back. Alright, so, yeah. This is not going to be fun. I probably shouldn't have thought of today to do this, but oh well. Do I have a flathead in my toolbox? Probably do. I hope I do. Yep. Alright. Let's take this front plate off here. This is the first time I've actually worked on something this small. I'm used to, push mower and rider, or whatever you want to call it. Lawn tractor, bigger motors. But yeah, I should say, to start off here, this is a 4-cycle. So if you have a 2-cycle trimmer and are having similar issues, it might be different. Might not be. But it's kind of interesting that this is a 4-cycle, because I feel like most small engines aren't 4-cycle, like this small, rather. So let's pull that off of there. Does this come off too? Yep, okay. Next thing here. Do I need to take that screw off to... I think that's just the maintainer. I think that is all it is. So I could probably get those little screws off of there. And then, be able to take... Actually, I could just probably do that. And it'd work fine. Alright, so now we gotta pull the fuel lines off here. Come on. Man, that one's kind of hard. Come on. Issue is I do not have fuel line right now that is this small, so hopefully I don't crack it or break it or anything. Come on. Okay, so that is the return. I'm gonna purge the system. Oh. Okay. We got a... There it is. I think I might just have to break, because I cannot get that thing off. Man, that thing is stuck on there. Come on. You might just have to cut it, unfortunately. Come on. There we go. Didn't really come off though. Yep, I'm gonna have to replace that, but oh well. Alright, so this is how it sits for reference. She probably don't need to get new. Probably will actually fit. I just need to get that tip off. Do got a little feel in there yet. Squirt that out. I'm gonna leave the little piece on the end there so I know which one's in and which one's out. Green's in, out, black's in. Alright. So I'm gonna go get a. Actually, I might have one in here. I don't, but I'm gonna go get a small screwdriver set so I can. Alright, I got a screwdriver here, so I'm gonna take this apart. Look in here a minute. Trying to figure out how this works. I think this is just a purge bulb plate, but I'll take it off anyway. Alright, so I got this plate almost out here. Hello. There we go. See, this primer bulb comes out. And then got the rest of this plate here. I'm trying to. There we go. Alright, so. This thing does smell like varnish. Hasn't been ran for a while, but it did run not that long ago before this video, probably about 2 weeks. About. Primer bulb is in relatively good condition here, not too bad. This next piece here, which is the primer plate. Then we have this kind of, I think this is a metering valve of some kind. Or maybe some kind of a pump here. This seems to be a fine piece. I don't know if it's a problem, but this little metal part here kind of has a little spring to it. Gasket on it, the around here looks good. I have the spring, which also spring. That's good. I'm gonna set this here so I don't drop it. It's the spring. Alright, now we're gonna take apart the other side here. which is the same system here. I'm just kind of taking the screws out on this side. Drop this plate out. Now, one thing to keep in mind also is to always keep your parts separated and kind of in some sort of an order, so you know what order everything went into place. So it looks like I will have to kind of adjust the screw that holds the throttle piece in place. So this here, this is a screw I gotta move so I can back the other screw out. Alright, got that one out. Pretty self-explanatory here. Got that screw out here. Attempt to see if I could get that piece to pop off. Unless there's another screw. Oh, there we go, maybe. Yep. Okay. So this is how this kind of works here. Is this mechanism here just spins this little drum inside, which as you want it to throttle up, it lets more air and gas in. You want it to throttle down, it puts less gas in. Gives you a little bit better perspective here. So you throttled up, you can see the hole opens. To be honest, I really do not see how this thing could flood. But it does. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it over, or take the plug out, and see if I can figure out how to get this back shroud off. I think there's a screw in here. Yeah. And then a screw here. There might be a couple down here too. Maybe I can just kind of pop this up. Yep, okay. And I gotta get my... Something just fell out of there. I don't know what. I'll get my little wrench here to pop them open. Seems to fit. Let's go check this out too, since we're taking it out. Yeah, it's getting a little bit of rich. Could just be that it needs to clean too. Come on, focus. Focus. There you go. It's not too bad, actually. If it'll refocus again. There we go. Not the worst I've seen. Let's do that a couple times here. Get all that out of the cylinder. Do I got a wire brush in my box? Yep, I do. I'm going to take the brush. Kind of brush the plug out a little bit. Let's take in the overly sized brush here and just kind of doing that and hoping that'll do something. Alright, it should be better than it was. Alright, so it's slightly later, about 15 minutes later. I had to do something real quick, but I don't know, but this plug here, come on, focus. Focus. There you go. You can kind of see it's kind of bent in a little bit. Which is not good. Which probably means that it isn't getting proper sparkage. It could be, though. I'm not going to rule that out, but I'm not going to do anything right now because I don't have any more plugs. So I'm going to put this back in the top here. And, yeah. I'm going to also shoot a little bit of carb cleaner in the carburetor. Just to, make sure that it could be an issue with the carb, but yeah, let's go get that real quick though. Alright, so basically all we're gonna do here is shoot some fuel, or not fuel, carb clean through the hole of each of them. Just to make sure that we're all good. If this don't work, I wouldn't be too surprised. I feel like it's something different, but still good to clean it out. Anyway. Alright. more I want to get here a minute before I put it back together. Alright, so that's good enough here. So I just basically sprayed some to this middle hole, this hole here, here, and then I also did one through here, and then the one in the middle here, to get all of the stuff all cleaned up. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of remembering how this goes back together. If I remember correctly, this little metering, or this little spring, goes... I think we're missing something on the main block here, the carb. Okay. Well, I might have just found our issue. I didn't realize before. So right here might be our issue. If you look here, this is the metering diaphragm, and it is poked in a lot. I'm going to try to gently peel that off here a minute. I think that could be causing the flooding, because I think that is actually our issue. Whew. Yeah, that is a strong whiff. Here's a diaphragm here. I believe this is supposed to be kind of in the middle. So basically what this does is this little pinpoint on here, in the middle here, if it will focus again. Come on, there you go. This little pin in the middle here kind of sits on top of this little rocker here. That just kind of meters the inflow of fuel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of spray this out slightly. Spray all the holes and stuff. Make sure that we're all good. Also, we also have a little bit of a screen right here too. Right here. But you gotta clean out once in a while too. Alright. Alright, so this should be all cleaned up. Now I'm going to put the carb back together here. I'm not going to put it fully back together because I would like to what am I thinking? Get this thing back together when I have a new metering diaphragm for it. But I also don't want it to just be sitting here and then I forget how to put it back together. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of it together for the time being. So, do that in a minute. Okay, so this side here, we have the main mechanism. The spring goes in the middle here. The wide side facing down. Then we get the little blue gasket sheet thing. That just kind of fits over top of it. And this little thing here with a keeper. We're not going to put that back on just right now. But that little black piece would go on here, and then this piece would go over top like this. That would click together, and then the primer bulb goes on like so. I'm going to run 2 screws into it real quick, just to hold everything together. So we're just going to put one into here. And run one into the other corner here too. Just so we get maximum contact without having to do all the work. Putting it back fully together. So yeah, we're just running them in the corners here. Now to get the other piece back on, that just fits into there, and then you kind of turn it. Actually, it might go that way. Yeah. Then we have the smaller screws here that fit into here, and then you just run those in. Into here and here. And then that's where I'm going to end today, because I do not have, like I said, I do not have all of the parts to do this. I don't got that metering diaphragm. But I am going to attempt to reset the max throttle control here in relation to the other piece here. Alright. So that's all together. I'm not going to put it back on. So, yeah. So basically what I'll be doing, I'm going to order some fuel line of this size. I believe it also has a fuel filter. I'm going to empty this tank out as well, so that I can get to that fuel filter. There's not much fuel in there. Yep, it does appear that there is a fuel filter on there. So yeah, see you in probably a week or two, once again, when I have mainly this piece here and then the fuel line. And I should be all good to go. As you will be able to tell, it is the next day, and it is a lot brighter out. I have been soaking this, the maintainer valve, diaphragm, whatever, and some gas here, hopefully to free it up a little bit. It does seem a lot freer to move. So let's get this thing back apart a little bit here, and hopefully it'll at least run a little bit. Also should say I didn't have the metering valve soaking in gas all night. I had it soaking for about an hour today. So hopefully it'll work. I put this back on here just so overnight the bugs and stuff wouldn't get into it. So, should be okay. Oh, there goes. Alright. Metering diaphragm goes, I believe, between those two plates. Might be wrong about that. Might not be. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna get my screwdriver real quick. I'm gonna take the 2 bolts we put on yesterday off. Or screws rather. Take these off. There's one. Here comes 2 in a second here. Screws are long so they can fit all the way to the main block of the carb and through everything. There we go. Be careful here. So here's the main block. There's a little spring. Oops. Shot of carb cleaner. Here's where that little plate goes. Definitely is a lot looser than it was yesterday, so that's nice. Yep, it does move on there now, so that's good. I think it's ready to back together here, for the most part. So just like yesterday, spring goes large side down, and this piece goes on like this. Actually make sure if that's right or not. Goes the other way. There you go. Gotta go on those pins there. And the piece of the metering diaphragm. I'm trying to remember which side goes up. I believe this side is the correct one. Yep. Is that like that? Then our metering diaphragm goes right on top like so. And the little pins there. So you can see, yesterday this piece did not move at all, and now it does. So now we just gotta put everything back together. So if I can get that thing to stay on there. It goes that way. So this screw just pushes in like that. And just screw everything back in. Then we got to figure out our fuel issue, or fuel line stuff. Get our last screws in, and we'll just thread them a couple turns and then put them in a minute. There we go. Alright, so that's that. Let's see if I could get this old piece of fuel line off of there. And then want to see if maybe I could reuse the old fuel line, because I don't believe I have any more fuel line of this size, and I really don't want to replace this fuel line. Get a pliers here. There we go. A little nub lid off there. I don't think we'll be able to reuse that. It looks like when I pulled it, it kind of stretched. Actually, if I try hard enough, I probably could get that on there. You kind of need both of the fuel lines on, because I mean, you don't kind of need, you do need. I guess that'll actually fit on there. But will it reach? Yeah, it looks like it will. Oh yeah, it will. Okay, good. I'm gonna try to get it on a little bit better there. And I know this is probably not the best idea ever for getting fuel line, but it'll have to do for now because I do not have any fuel line on hand that small. This is going to loop into there and then pull like that. I'm gonna just back that off just a hair. Alright, we are filling with fuel, so that's good. Okay, now we need this plate here. So this just slots like that. Actually, the other way. My bad. Alright, line it up with the holes there. Alright, got that one on. Or not, I guess. Put that one in slightly. And put this one in also. Make sure that we are lined up. And I'm gonna get a, not the drill. Get just a regular screwdriver here, and just hand tighten these in a minute. Okay, those aren't grabbing anything. Hope I didn't strip this out. So that would be bad. Okay, so why exactly is this thing not catching the hole? Oh, I might know what's going on. I think I know what's going on. I bet in these here there's a little bushing that I need. Okay, well, we're gonna have to backtrack slightly here in order to make this actually work. Okay, that one grabbed, I think. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. So yeah, I'm gonna back this one all the way out. Yeah, so that one grabbed, definitely. Just didn't go in all the way. I'm just gonna finish taking that out there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think that is a bushing in there, ain't there? So yeah, I think I'll have to take this top cover off here to get a little gander in the middle there. So I will do that real quick and figure out if I was correct. Alright, so this is what I found out here. So if you look through this hole here, come on, clean lens. Alright, so if you look through this hole here, you can kind of see there is something in there that is lateral or vertical. And this one you can see there isn't one. And the bottom one here threads just fine. But this top one here, yeah, that doesn't do too much. So that is definitely our issue and why this thing's not threading back together. So yeah, I'm going to try to get that back up right and we'll try again. Alright, so kind of maybe possibly forgotten to record the part of actually putting it back together. But it is back together. It should run. What is going on? Okay. Alright, I think I did get it now. Alright, let's try again a little. Probably also should hook up this cable. Or maybe should have hooked it up. Hopefully I can still hook it up in here. Because I really do not want to take this thing apart once again. Oh, come on. Alright, I got an idea here. Probably not the best one, but I'm going to push this all the way down, which is going to, in turn, give us just a tad bit of room to hook this back on. A little more there, if I can. There we go. I'm going to back that out. I'll have to adjust as we go. Alright. Little throttle. Back off the choke a little. I think that's gonna put a little bit more feel into there. If I give a little breathe here. See, if I give a little taste of carb cleaner here, it should have licked off. Unless it's flooded. I think it might be flooding itself still. But we're going to open her up, give it a little tickle, and hopefully it'll lick off here. Yeah, I think it flooded itself, didn't it? Actually, I might know what the issue is. Just matters. Actually, I guess I might have tightened that again. Well, I guess, go ahead and order the carb, because I don't know if I said this in the start, but you can't actually buy the correct metering diaphragm anymore. So yeah, so I guess this is gonna leave here for a minute, and then I guess I'll see you whenever that thing comes. Alright, so just for kicks I decided to pull it over like twice more, and it started. So yeah, I don't know what to think. I'm gonna kill it here a minute and see if I can get it to restart. It doesn't stop doing its thing. Let me see if I can restart it here a minute. Alright, also gonna see if it'll restart one more time here with the air cover on. Which could also be an air issue as well. So that's back on there. Also need to pop the screw back into there because it didn't. So pumps, couple pumps. Alright, I'm gonna say that was a success here. It starts and stuff and runs, so that's nice. So yeah, I'll thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this thing will actually keep running, and then I'll probably post this if it did. Otherwise, I'll replace the carb. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna run that screw in, and I will see you guys next time. And goodbye.